I'm going to read you guys an article written by the guy by the name of Brendan O'Neill, editor for SpikedOnline.com. Links in the description. All credit goes to him. There's no visual accompaniment to this, so go ahead and go back to surfing whatever it is you're surfing. The title is After Manchester, It's Time for Anger. We need more than mourning in response to the new barbarism. After the terror, the platitudes, and the hashtags, and the candlelit vigils, they always have the same message: be unified, feel love, don't give in to hate. The banalities roll off the national tongue, vapidity abounds, a shallow fetishization of togetherness takes the place of any articulation of what we should be together for and against. And so it has been after the barbarism in Manchester. In response to the deaths of more than 20 people at an Ariana Grande gig, in response to the massacre of children enjoying pop music, people effectively say, all you need is love. The disparity between these horrors and our response to them, between what has happened and what we say, is vast. This has to change. It is becoming clear that the top-down promotion of a hollow togetherness in response to terrorism is about cultivating passivity. It's about suppressing strong public feeling. It's about reducing us to a line of mourners whose only job is to weep for our fellow citizens, not ask why they died or rage against their dying. The great fear of both officialdom and the media class in the wake of terror attacks is that the volatile masses will turn wild and hateful. This is why every attack is followed by warnings of an Islamophobic backlash and heightened policing of speech on Twitter and gatherings in public. Because what they fundamentally fear is public passion, our passion. They want us passive, empathetic, a little upset, not angry, not active, not questioning. They prefer us as a lonely crowd of dutiful, disconnected mourners rather than a real collective of citizens demanding to know why our fellow citizens died and how we might prevent others from dying. We should stop playing the role they've allotted for us. As part of the post-terror narrative, our emotions are closely policed. Some emotions are celebrated, others demonized. Empathy, good. Grief, good. Sharing your sadness online, great. But hatred, anger, fury, these are bad. They are inferior forms of feeling, apparently, and they must be discouraged. Because if we greenlight anger about terrorism, then people will launch pogroms against Muslims, they say, or even attack Sikhs or the local Hindu-owned corner shop, because that's how stupid and hateful we all apparently are. But there is a strong justification for hate right now, certainly for anger, for rage. In fact, 22 of our fellow citizens were killed at a pop concert. I hate that. I hate the person who did it. I hate those who will apologize for it. And I hate the ideology that underpins such barbarism. I want to destroy that ideology. I don't feel sad. I feel apoplectic. Others will feel likewise, but if they express this verboten post-terror emotion, they risk being branded as architects of hate, contributors to future terrorist attacks, racists, and so on. Their fury is shushed. Just weep. That is your role. The post-terror cultivation of passivity speaks to a profound crisis, a fear of the active citizen. It diminishes us as citizens to reduce us to hashtaggers and candle holders in the wake of serious disorienting acts of violence against our society. It decommissions the hard thinking and deep feeling citizens ought to pursue after terror attacks. Indeed, in some ways, this official post-terror narrative is the unwitting cousin of the terror attack itself, where terrorism pursues a war of attrition against our social fabric, seeking to rip away bit by bit our confidence and our openness and our sense of ourselves as free citizens. Officialdom and the media diminish our individuality and our social role through instructing us on what we must feel and think and say about national atrocities, discouraging us from taking responsibility for confronting these atrocities and the ideological and violent rot behind them. The terrorist seeks to weaken our resolve. The powers that be want to sedate our emotions, retire our anger, and reduce us to wet-eyed performers in their post-terror play. It's a dual assault on the individual and society itself. That post-terror narrative is fundamentally about taming us, taming our passion, and politics is clear from its sidelining of all issues of substance. We are actively warned against asking difficult questions about 21st century society and why it has this violence in it, this nihilism in it. Question the wisdom of multiculturalism, of refusing to elevate one culture over another and instead encouraging people to live in our own cultural bubbles, and you're racist. I wonder if the obsession with combating Islamophobia might have given rise to a situation where some Muslims, especially younger ones, cannot handle ridicule of their religion, and, well, you're Islamophobic. As for immigration, this is the great unmentionable. You're a fascist if you mention it, even thinking about it. The post-terror narrative that barks, "You must empathize," also says implicitly and sometimes explicitly, "You must not think. You must not ask those questions or say that thing." And so, in their response to terrorism, they erect an intellectual force field around some of the problems that might, just might, be contributing to terrorism. We need unity, they say. Unity is their buzzword, but this is substanceless. Unity around what? Unity against what? What are our values? Who is the enemy of those values? Don't ask. Don't think about it. It is wrong to have core values in a society built on diversity, apparently. And we must not ever suggest that any particular ideology poses a threat to our values, because that might involve punching down, or singling people out, or bullying, or some other form of bigotry. We end up with a unity of shallowness, a union of highly individuated mourners, not a unity around real ideals and things and vision. Their cry of unity is a lie. The fact is that there are people in our society willing to attack us, others who will think that those attacks are justified, and others still who will apologize for those attacks by saying that they're a product of Islamophobia or Western intervention overseas. We are so far from united. We are deeply divided, but you can't say that. Weep. Don't think. Stop and think about how strange it is, how perverse it is, that more than 20 of our citizens have been butchered, and we are basically saying, everyone calm down. Love is the answer. No, where is our rage? If the massacre of children and their parents on a fun night out doesn't make you feel rage, nothing will. The terrorist has defeated you. You are dead already.